This is Pre-Algebra, and today we're going to be working on adding and subtracting integers. Please make sure that you add your date and your title to the top of your Cornell notes. As a reminder, when we're doing videos, if I go too fast or you didn't understand something, or you just need a moment, pause the video, finish writing what you need to, and then if you need to, back up the video and watch it again. Sometimes it's hard to really get it into our brain while we're trying to write at the same time. So use multiple viewings of video if you need to. Here we go. Today we're adding and subtracting integers. We should start by talking about what integers are. Integers are positive and negative whole values. So for example, integers would be things like -1 or -3, 0, 2, 7. You'd find these numbers on the number line. Integers are not fractions, see the big X over, or decimals. Those are not integers. Okay, so let's add and subtract some today. I have some example problems over here that I'd like us to start with. And to help us out, I've drawn a number line. A number line is a good strategy you can use to help you when adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. You can always just draw one on your paper and it can help you out. I have 3 plus 2, 3 plus -2, 3 minus 2, and 3 minus -2. Let's see what happens when I go to solve each of these problems. As we do so, I want us to look for patterns to help us come up with an understanding of how we do this. 3 plus 2. You've done that since you were little. Start at 3, 1, 2, 3. Add 2 more. When we add, we're moving in a positive direction. Positive is this way. Adding 2 more from 3, 4, 5. Our final answer is 5. Okay. Next problem. I have 3, and I'm adding a negative number. I'm adding -2. Same system. We're going to start at 3, 1, 2, 3. When I add a negative, though, I'm actually giving someone something that's negative, and we're going to move in a negative direction. Our negative direction on our number line is this direction. It's this way. So, again, starting at 3, move -2, 1, 2. That takes us back to 1. Okay, let's try a regular subtraction problem. I have 3, and I'm going to subtract 2. Again, the first number is where you begin. We started at 3, we started at 3, we're going to start at 3. We're going to move in a negative direction, 2. Start at 3, move in a negative direction 2 spaces, we end up at 1. And last but not least, we're still going to start at 3. We're going to move negative, but it's a -2, which would have been go negative. When you have 2 negatives, they cancel each other out. It's like changing direction twice. We go negative to go negative. You actually end up moving in a positive direction. So we begin at 3. Minus a negative means we're going to go positive. 2 spaces. 1, 2. I end up at 5. Let's look at some patterns and similarities here. I noticed that 2 of our answers are the same, and 2 of our other answers are the same. When I added 2, and when I subtracted -2, in both cases, what I was really doing is just adding. I was moving in a positive direction. 3 plus 2 is the same as 3 minus -2. The math is the same, I still end up at 5. For these 2, I also have the same answer. Turns out whether I'm adding a negative number or I'm subtracting what is really a regular positive number, what I'm really doing is I'm subtracting. Let's look at over here at another example to see if this continues to play out. Here, I'm not starting at a +3. All I did was make it a -3. And then the rest of our problems are the same. +2, plus -2, -2, and minus negative. This doesn't actually change my problem. I still do the exact same thing. I'm just going to begin at -3, which is down here, instead of at +3, like I did here. Here we go. Begin at -3 and add 2. So we're moving 2 in a positive direction that way. So if I start at -3 and I move 2 positive, 1, 2, I end up at -1. Let's try the next one. If I start at -3 and I add a negative, remember when I added a negative, moving in a negative direction. So if I start at negative 3, and then I move in a negative direction, I add negative 2 more, 1, 2. I'm going to end up at negative 5. Here's our negative direction. Negative goes that way. All right, let's try our next one. I'm at negative 3, and I'm subtracting 2. So I start at negative 3. I'm subtracting, so I move in a negative direction. 2 more. 1, 2. Still end up at negative 5. And last but not least, I'm at negative 3, and I'm subtracting a negative 2. Remember, when we subtract a negative, the negatives sort of cancel each other out. It's like changing direction twice. Negative but negative, which means what I'm really doing is adding. Start at negative 3, move 2 in a positive direction. I end up at negative 1. The math is the same. When I'm adding, I move in a positive direction. If I'm adding a negative, I'm moving in a negative direction. If I'm subtracting, I'm moving in a negative direction. And if I'm subtracting a negative, I'm moving in a positive direction.